Okay, alright, so I think we're good to go. So I think I have figured this out. So, hello, welcome. It's Raquel from Recovery to Wellness, and it's well, actually, you probably know what time it is currently. It's currently September 21st, 2022, so huzzah! So I want to do a shorter reaction video to my part of my story being told in the Passages video, which was a long-term day program that I used to go to, and part of my story being told in that front. I have my first reaction kind of video for it, which is a longer video. It's like a 45-minute video. Things are lagging, sorry. But I have a longer 45-minute video that is at the front of my channel when people first come in, I think, to my channel. But I've been wanting to make a shorter version of that for a while, and I have seen it a few times since I last filmed that original video, and I'll link that original video later on as well. But I would love to react to it again and add a couple smaller points to it and just kind of go from there. So that's what we're gonna do. So let me open it up. I'm gonna go, this is my channel, obviously. I don't see myself here. Okay, so let's see. Oh, don't mind this. So yes. So yeah, this is the one that I have. It's like a 45-minute video. Was my original reaction from about 2 years ago. So yeah, let's see what I have to say about it now. And we'll go from there. Oh crap, I keep doing that. Okay. So, yeah, let's just jump into it.
I was writing articles for my newspaper.
It's my kitchen.
School, I felt that while I was writing an article, I was safe. But every other time, I wasn't. And I was carrying around a suicide method with me everywhere I went. I wound up making the dean's list that semester, but it was also the semester that I started going downhill pretty quick.
So that semester that I'm referencing is, what the fuck? The laptop has a terrible amount of speakers.
Dean's list that semester, but it was also the semester that I started going downhill pretty quick.
Yeah, so that semester I'm talking about is, the end of fall 2014, so.
The winter break happened, and having
fall 2014.
School, nothing to really turn out wasn't a good idea. Bad, very bad. A few days after New Year's Eve, I attempted suicide for the first time. That was a lot.
So in terms of that, I've said before, and I'll say it again, I'm sure, I don't consider myself a suicide attempt survivor, though I have had 4 attempts before. I think the last attempt was my most moderate one, and that was from 2017, I think. Yeah, because I never, even in this, when I start to talk about the darkest part of the depression and the BPD for me, which was in the beginning of 2018, I never actually followed through on the attempt that I was thinking about and planning and fantasizing about. I never actually followed through on it, so. But.
My university's counseling center diagnosed me with obsessive-compulsive disorder on self-harm and suicide obsessions.
In fall
The last thing
2014.
I wanted to do was hurt myself, but because I had the thought, I had this fear that I wanted to, which would cycle into anxiety, and then I'd be like, oh my gosh, do I really want to do that? Maybe I should check. How do I check that? I would essentially come back to the...
Can I just say that, my eyebrows look so good then, and I also forgot to mention that I struggled with, at the time I was struggling with hair pulling and skin picking. It was something that hadn't completely blown up yet in I guess in some aspects, but definitely now it has, and it's gotten a lot worse. But I also, at that time, this was filmed in 2019, it was released in 2020, but February 2019, I would just kind of forget about the hair pulling, skin picking, because so much of my story focuses on like the more severe sort of aspects of things, with like genuine suicide ideation or intrusive thoughts about suicide obsession. So it's like, it was always something that I would kind of forget, because I think when I was leaving this interview I was like, oh wait, I should have mentioned hair pulling and skin picking, but then I was like, it's too late, I already forgot. But they came to my house and filmed at my house and stuff, so a bunch of different old bedroom scenes from here. So I also found this card. Eventually I lost it for a while, but then I found it again, and it's a good one.
Realization that no, I don't want to hurt myself, and then I'd have another intrusive thought, the whole cycle would begin again. So I would do that for hours at a time.
Also, I just want to say that for this video, this was filmed, who was it? I think it was Persistent Productions is the film crew who filmed for it. It was funny because, yeah, when I was leaving the interview, I was like, hey, do you want one of my business cards? And because I had printed some business cards at the time. So we swapped business cards, and that's kind of how we got in touch later for them to film in my house. So there was that. But I would say it took a year before they did all the videos and such, and some of my friends from the day program at Passages, they also were able to get interviewed and share their story and everything. And we had, like, a year later, we had the sort of luncheon kind of thing to celebrate the videos coming out and everything. And I remember one of the people who worked at the day program, like one of the directors or something, mentioned that, I think he asked me if I've done, like, if I've told my story before, and I was like, oh yeah, I do, like, NAMI volunteer work and everything, and he was like, yeah, I could tell, because it was very, like, I don't know, scripted, I guess, or just it seemed that way, which I guess I don't really see it myself, but I feel like when I watch other people's, I kind of see it more. There's a little bit less of emotional attachment, I think, to my words, and also just almost kind of robotic in a way, because like every time I say, oh, I live with OCD, I automatically go into like OCD on self-harm and suicide, like that's like my thing. So it's just how I've been telling my story for the last 6 years. But yeah, it was just interesting. I thought that it was somewhat, there was a telltale sign that this wasn't the first time I was talking about my story and the things I had gone through. So fancy tidbit. I don't know if I mentioned that in the first reaction video. I don't know how this is going so far either. I don't really like it, but like this video in a sense, but I'm just gonna hope for the best and then I can edit it later, so yeah. I guess you could say it's imperfect. So the imperfection of it is bothering me, but we're gonna stick with it. Also, I found this shirt in the beginning of the summer. It was in one of the old winter clothing baskets in our attic, and I would love to wear this shirt again. I really love it, but I forgot.
2017 was my most hospitalized year, and
yeah, 2017 I was hospitalized 5 times, so a lot of hospitalization. There was one hospitalization I was in. I got in on like Monday, Tuesday. I got out on Friday. I had the weekend, and then on Monday I was back in the hospitals. I think that was the time. I think at that point I don't know. I don't think I attempted. I might have, but I think I was in a kind of a crappy hospital setting. And then when I went back into the hospital, I went to Althea, and that, I think, was around the time that I took up a job that was not a good idea at all, which was like mental health in the prison setting. So enough said. But I think, what was I trying to say? I think that was the first time that I was in the ER, and not the psychiatrist, but like the doctor there, who was sort of, it was the first time I had a male mental health professional ask me what I wanted to do, like what my input was on like whether to send me back to the hospital or to try something else. And he actually called my psychiatrist, who told him to definitely section me, and my mom, who also told him to definitely section me. So, but it was the first time first and only time that really ever, it was sort of like the ball was placed back in my court, which I really appreciated. I mean, I definitely needed to be hospitalized, but like at the time it was like, thanks for, you know, just trying to figure it all out. But yeah. So yeah. Okay, well, 11 minutes in, so okay. It's a little bit better.
Really didn't know what to do with me.
In my 5-week stay.
Social worker at the time, he was saying, you don't really have a choice, and if you don't get better, we're going to send you to a state hospital. So that was like, that made me really mad, because one of the big, like, cognitive distortions is like, you don't have a choice, that kind of thing. When I tried correcting.
So, if you remember, I edited and uploaded a video recently where I talk about that social worker, DC, for douche canoe. Yeah, that was within this hospitalization and everything. So, oh, DC.
Him, and he was like, no, you don't have a choice. I'm like, no, I always have a choice.
And then, that you always have a choice thing is written up on my wall. I always have a choice. I control my actions. What's another good one? Can take care of myself. Let me see. What's another one? If I were fragile, I wouldn't have made it this far. People won't always approve of me, and that's okay. So a bunch of those are on my wall from like 2015. Like I've had it on my wall every day. I can look at it, but so that's why it was ingrained in me that I always have a choice. It may only be a choice of attitude, that is still a choice. So.
The depression came back worse than ever.
2018.
And
the depression came back worse than ever in January 2018, and that was. So in my 5-week stay, when they were telling me they were going to send me to a state hospital and everything, the last option I had, because they were taking care of a bunch with my meds and everything too, but the last option they gave me was I would get ECT, electroconvulsive therapy. I got 6 treatments of that, and I was able to be stable for like 2 months after, but I think the combination of maybe it not being the right treatment for me, because I think before then it was always really OCD at the center of it, at the core of it. And then when I got ECT, yes, I got stable, but then around that time too, I created some videos that were triggering, or even just in the because I was still so new to making videos, it was just a trigger, and I didn't have any self-boundaries at the time, so I didn't realize that it would be triggering, so I just made it and whatever. And then that kind of spiraled into like a relapse, and then I started having really bad, like intense, genuine thoughts of suicide and self-harm, and I really just got lost in depression. It was really bad. So, and I think if I would have acted on my plan at the time, I don't think I'd be here. So it was really good that I got intervention before, because even when I got hospitalized, I was in the end of January 2018, I was hospitalized because my parents called the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and they recommended that they take me to the hospital. So my parents came up to me and they're like, you're either gonna go in an ambulance from this house to the hospital, the ER, or we're going to take you. And I wanted to take a shower before I would have to be in a psych hospital, so I was like, fine, let me just take a shower and then we can go. So that's kind of how that happened. That was the first time in the 12 hospitalizations I had that I did not initiate my own hospitalization. And then the last time I was hospitalized, which was back February 14th, 2018, it was because I went to the day program, and I have a bunch of stories on that and everything. Well, not a whole lot of stories on that, but I definitely have some videos that I have filmed that kind of touch on that part of my story because of the articles I was writing and the concern at school, at my campus, and then also my friends who were involved, who helped kind of push me in the right direction to get help, and going to my day program and telling them and all of that. And now it's been about 4.5 years since I've been hospitalized. So in the course of 3 years I was hospitalized 12 times, but now it's been 4.5 years that I've been hospital free, which is fantastic. And now I work at a psych hospital. It's a whole it's a whole cycle, you know, it's a whole thing. But yeah, so anywho, that rant out of the way. Or the ramble, I suppose.
I was actively suicidal. I was writing suicide notes in my journal. My parents were really concerned about me.
Those definitely aren't suicide notes, by the way. Those are my little positive messages where I do like little drawings and little like positive sayings and stuff, and then I get them out to random people, which I haven't done in a long time. I really should do that again. But yes, a lot of the stuff kind of like decayed in like 2020 when the pandemic happened, so I haven't been able to get back on top of it as much as I once was. But I will, if you guys are curious and you want me to see me do more videos about positive messages and my recovery art projects, let me know in the comments, because I can prioritize that.
Because I was going from very, very depressed to very, very calm, very happy. They called the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and they suggested to bring me to the hospital. And then from there, they recommended that I go to Pathways. I think Pathways, through my experiences, has just been a really a place of positivity and a place that I could really explore all the good parts of myself and learn how to handle the darker parts.
Something that and I think I mentioned this later in this interview as well, but something that I really got out of Passages was positive, healthy attention. One of the times I was at Althea, I was kind of, I guess, a little bit attention seeking and with like self-harm kind of stuff. And like, I was only on like 15-minute checks and such, but I remember one of the employees said, well, instead of getting attention for like self-harm and stuff, why don't you just go up to someone and say hi? And I was like, oh, that's a fantastic idea. I never thought of that. Like, just wielding it in a different way, that same amount of attention in a sense. And like, so for me, when it came to like Passages and like creating more art, and I haven't created art as much on my channel as I used to. I think a lot of that is perfectionism issues and just forgetting my roots in a sense and my why and everything. But getting compliments on like coloring pages or artwork and like positive things, recovery based things, those are really things I enjoy, and it's really cool and it's fun and it's awesome. And I don't get as much attention, I guess you could say, as I was maybe used to at Passages in like a more frequent basis. And I think part of that too was impacted because of the pandemic. But it is really nice to have attention, and positive attention, healthy attention, and not just attention on like the negative stuff. Like it's more meaningful when it's positive and healthy, and pushes me to, you know, have more drive and make more videos and things to that effect. So, and I also really appreciate anybody who comments on my things. The big thing for me, which I want to focus on in a mission statement video about my channel and what I do on recovery to wellness, is I don't want to be without constructive criticism. I really do. I'm pretty open to things, like, I don't know, just to have a discussion and talk about things, I think is important. And I don't want to get to a point where I'm silencing someone else if they're offering me a point of view that maybe I don't agree with, but that is ultimately helpful. Like, I just don't want to get to the point where I start seeing everything as hate and then dismissing people and silencing them, and I don't want that for my channel. I want it to be an open space and something where, you know, we're respectful, and when we disagree, we can disagree, and that's fine, and, you know, we can carry forth on that. So I guess I'm saying that I'm probably more aimed at like young adults and not definitely not kids, maybe teenagers, but really not, and more so 18 plus, like an adult population. So I think that's all I need to say. Okay.
I saw the clients modeling, like, being open about their ideation, like, I'm really struggling, and, like, I kind of forgot that that's how I used to be in my recovery, and it made me want to be like that again. It kind of reached back into myself, and it really pulled out a piece of hope that it could get better. Like, a lot of the time I'm doing really well nowadays, like...
Honestly, first of all, that shirt, the leaf one, I still have that one too. I think I wore it a couple times this past year. It's a good shirt. Also, I love that I have my Loki necklace on. Also, that's my old camera, my photography camera. I think I got my new webcam, this new webcam that I'm filming on right now. I think I got it this year, honestly. And then, I know I got my new filming camera this year as well, but, okay.
At Pathways, I've been going there for a year, and I mark a year out of the hospital.
So upon this release, I've been going there 2 years. And I wound up leaving in June 2020. And I'd been working at Amaryllis for about a year. At the time that I left, I was almost there 2 years. Sorry, you're lagging so bad.
So, which is the longest I've ever gone, so it's really, really exciting.
Oh yeah, so I was saying that I marked a year.
I mark a year out of the hospital. So, which is the longest I've ever gone, so it's really, really exciting.
So yeah, at the time, in 2016, I went 9 months without a hospital free, and now it's been 4.5 years, so. Good job, Raquel.
I think DBT has helped immensely. Dialectical behavior therapy, which is based in mindfulness practices and interpersonal effectiveness, emotion regulation, and distress tolerance. Even just trying to sit with feelings that are uncomfortable. Like, I had a crisis-ish kind of thing where, like, a couple weeks ago, and it was a terrible 15 minutes, but it was definitely a lot different, because a year ago, if I had had that, I would have been unstable for, like, 3 or 4 days.
So, one thing I will say about that, I'm getting close to, like, the time I need to cut off at, but one thing I will say about that is, what did I say? Shit. What was I don't even remember what I was saying. Fuck.
A year ago, if I had had that, I would have...
Oh, so the whole, like, 20-minute, like, mental breakdown kind of thing, like, I haven't been allowing myself to, like, feel my emotions fully without acting on them in some way, like hair pulling or skin picking or avoiding or whatever. So I really have to get back into that, but yeah, it's been a while since it was just only 20 minutes, but I think the nice thing though about working in a psych hospital is that I will get triggered sometimes, and I'm like forced to have to like work through it in some aspect. Ice packs and holding ice, like the best thing ever. But and just leaning on my coworkers and everything. But I'm gonna try to finish this now.
Unstable for like 3 or 4 days. Being on a really good streak for hospital free, I'm kind of having like a silent, like sort of bet with myself. I'm like, how long can I make it? Like, can I make it to a year and a half? Can I make it to 2 years? And I've been able to really reshape my identity to being more recovery based and more positive. Being able to find like positive attention and like be the center of attention. I like that a lot. So I have my blog and I have my YouTube channel and things like that. Hey guys, and I focus more on just creating art.
So can I just say too how at the time that this was filmed and everything, and even the year it was released, I hadn't gotten like as much far into my channel as I have in the last, once the pandemic really started, so like the last 2 years. So I actually didn't remember my tagline, like my ending tagline whatsoever for this, or the fact that I would have like an intro kind of, you know, so that was just funny to me later. the 4 of them.
I'm going to be doing some artwork before going to Pathways. I would be very unstable a lot of the time, like that was sort of my baseline. Now I have stability as my baseline, like it's really awesome. When I look out on the horizon nowadays, I see these like bouncy houses and I'm like...
As far as this metaphor goes, I legitimately created it at the moment of the interview. And then I've been using it ever since.
Blowing up into reality, and I probably looked out on the horizon a lot, and it was kind of like dead trees and bleak, and it was, you know, a hard time. And now with the bouncy houses, they're kind of just like these, like almost like mirages that are just kind of coming up like this, and they're just kind of fun and vibrant. And I don't know, I played in some bouncy houses when I was a kid too, so they're just kind of fun and everything.
So, final thoughts. That was my newer, shorter reaction video to Recovery is Real, Raquel's story. If you liked it, you should definitely go either like the original one. I don't think you can comment, to be honest. I don't think that's allowed, but feel free to comment on this reaction of it in my comment section. That should be open. If it's not, go into my most recent upload and then just tell me that the comments are turned off for whatever reason, and then I'll go back and fix it. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed. Recovery since this point in time has been pretty good, I would say. Overall, pretty good. I definitely needed brush up on my DBT skills and getting all that shit together. But I hope that you enjoyed this video, and overall, Recovery is good. I think I've struggled a little more with the old things I used to struggle with this past year than I have in previous years once I kind of reached the stability point. So it's just more of a maintenance kind of thing. But if I can tackle the hair pulling and the skin picking, then I'll be really good. But then it's also dealing with the perfectionism stuff and all of that. So still very much a work in progress, but it's a lot better than what it was. So that's really awesome. And as for right now, I'm just going to end this video, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and let me know in the comments what you thought, and I'll try to shave this down a little bit, and I will see you soon. So what did you think of my reaction? Was it good? Not so good? What would you like to see in the future for videos? And as always, stay safe, take care, be well, much love and light to you, and I will see you soon. Bye.
I can see a lighthouse through the smoke. Everything is lost, I know.